the best damn rookie truck driver you have ever met. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that today. You guys ever met that guy? Of course you have. If you've been a trucker for even a little while, you have met the super rookie. You know, the guy that just got his CDL a week ago and knows everything there is to know about trucking, right? I'm sure it's not just a trucking thing. If you work in any job, you probably got that guy that's just starting out and they know it all. And you know what? That's not the worst thing ever, right? Come in, have a little confidence. Fake it till you make it, as they say. Nothing wrong with all that, but when you're in a trucking orientation, the worst thing ever about trucking orientation is it just drags on and on and on. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days of listening to company policies and watching safety videos and being told how to use a logbook, and it's just the most boring thing in the world, right? But you always get some asshole that thinks, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna extend this out longer. I'd like this to take longer for everyone. So he interrupts the entire damn class every time somebody says something to tell everybody how much he knows about that particular topic. Yeah. I've met a lot of super rookies. I have. This one's my favorite because of his crazy tale of how he saved the day one day. And we'll get there. Don't worry, we will get there. Trying a little something different in the video, if you guys haven't noticed yet. Running a little B-roll stuff of things I do throughout my day. Hopefully that compromise is cool with you guys. A lot of people saying, hey, can you record more stuff out the windshield, and can we see more of what you're doing through the day? Now you got to be careful with these things because companies, you know, don't like when you record and drive. So it's a whole process that I'm going through. Like when I'm running down the road, let it film, let it roll, right? Then edit later, cut out some parts, make some little B-roll for me, because you don't want to be getting in trouble now with these companies getting all sensitive about a camera being on while you're driving down the road, while they have a camera on at all times while you're driving down the road. I don't know, man. I don't make the rules, but hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Get a little B-roll in there for you, kind of break up the monotony of looking at this obviously gorgeous face, right? So anyways, the best damn rookie trucker I ever met was at an orientation years ago, actually at a company out of Denver. So it was nice for me because I still got to go home through orientation, but you know, who cares? That's a really pointless part of the story. Who gives a damn? But we had this guy. He's about 4'10", you know, my height roughly. And he was definitely making up for his lack of height through the entire orientation process. I actually thought that the guy worked at the company in the office when I first started and just made a weird decision to sit down in one of the seats that one of the truck drivers in orientation would have sat in. The reason that I thought he worked in the office at this company was he was so comfortable interrupting everything that was being said in class to interject sort of his point of view. And yeah, I thought maybe he was a guy from their safety department or something, but it turned out he was a trucker that was there to do his orientation. And you know, you get the normal like silly shit, the E-log discussion, the ELD discussion. My God, have you guys ever gotten through an orientation where an argument didn't break out about ELDs and how to run your logs and things like that? I mean, my God, it's always the same goofy, silly shit. You know, you can run 70 hours over an 8-day period. You can run 11 hours in a day. You can run 8 hours before you take a break. Here's how split sleeper berth works, right? And all that stuff gets explained, and then the debate always breaks out about what you can actually get away with, what you can actually do if the government doesn't know about it, and then the hot debate about why do I have to take a half-hour break? Who are they to decide if I need a break? Jesus Christ, it's just a half-hour break, guys. Chill out. Chill out. So of course when we got to the ELD discussion, that guy was all over it, just interrupting class the entire time, talking about how he knows how to run the split sleeper, and you got to do it like this and that. And he was just making shit up, though. He was just making shit up as he went. And you can actually, you know, drive more than 70 hours in a week if you unplug your ELD. No, I'm serious. He actually suggested that in the class. That's when it clicked in my brain. I said, oh, this guy is not with the safety department. Why is he saying that? Unplug your ELD, frowned upon. Very much so. Very much so. So the classroom portion was really frustrating, but I remember when I first started to get really annoyed with this guy was when we went outside to walk around the shop. You know, walk around the trucks, the shop guy showing us different features on the trucks and trailers, and then we go into the shop, and the shop guy's doing his normal thing that he has to do, right? He's talking about pre-trips. This is how you do a pre-trip. Here's the things you're looking for. Now, we're all the best drivers in the world. Each and every one of us is literally the best driver in the world. Just ask us. Every one of us is the greatest driver this fucking planet has ever seen. So we all know these things, but it's required for the shop guy to go over all these things. It's part of orientation. He has to do it, right? So he's talking to us about walking around the trailer and checking tires. You know, if you got your hammer, you can smack it. You know, you can get you one of those, whatever the little stick is called. I don't know. They have a name. I don't care. I don't care. And all these things, and he's like, or you could just give it a kick, make sure there's air in that tire. And that's when old Big Mouth speaks up. He goes, hey, and he stands in front of the class, standing right next to the shop guy, like he works in the shop. And he says, if you kick those tires, though, he said, you don't just walk up to it and just give it a little tap. That's not how you check your tires, okay? He says you wear steel-toe boots and you kick that son of a bitch as hard as you can. Like, so hard. My video just got interrupted. Someone was trying to call me. Anyways, whatever. He says you kick it so hard that if you weren't wearing steel-toe boots, it'd break your damn foot. That's how you check a tire. And I'm like, what is this fucking clown talking about? You're checking a tire, bro. You're not like trying to flip field position out here. You're checking a goddamn tire. You don't need a running start to check your tire and give it a good kick and make sure that it's all good. It was just completely absurd, absolutely ridiculous. Like, he just wanted everybody to know how hard he kicks tires. That's how hard I kick tires. That's about the time I start rolling my eyes and I'm like, oh, good grief. Oh, I've been tuning this out until now, but we've got us a super trucker, boys. That's what we're dealing with, right? And after all that was over, I went back into the class. All of us did, right? And we're sitting down, and he's still, you know, while we're waiting for the next person to give their presentation, he's still lecturing everybody on how to do pre-trips. What are you looking for? If this lights out, maybe you could check this. And if you got a flat tire, you need to put air in it. If you got a flat tire, maybe put some air in it. That's a good idea. And sometimes, like when the truck won't shift into gear, you might have to switch a transmission right there in the truck stop parking lot. You know, I always carry a spare transmission with me in the truck. You know, obviously he didn't say all that. I'm exaggerating for effect. Get it? Anyways, obviously he wasn't saying he swaps his transmission, but he was just on and on about all the amazing things that he could do. And then somebody asked him, they said, man, you sure seem knowledgeable about all this. How long have you been a truck driver? He goes, oh, 3 months. But I do know a lot. I do know a lot. Okay, that's fair. Honestly, I'm never going to be that guy that thinks because you've only been doing something for a little while that you don't know anything about it. I mean, you could know a lot of things about stuff. You could get on YouTube and watch a trucker's videos. One of the educational guys, not me, I'm full of shit. But watch one of the educational guys, and that could give you some insight into what you're doing. You could watch a lot of the mechanics get on here and talk about stuff and show stuff. Sure, you might have a better idea what you're doing, absolutely. But when I've been driving about 3 months, I kind of laughed a little bit and went, oh my god, okay, this fucking guy. Anyways, we got to the road test portion, and I hate orientations for this one reason. Every time you get to the road test part, everybody fucking panics. You guys ever notice that? Yeah. I always just volunteer to go first, you know, because it's like one of those things. They go, we're doing road tests. Who wants to go first? I just go, let's go ahead and do it. Let's get her done, right? Because everybody else is like, oh, fuck, road test. What do we do? You know what you do on a road test, guys, at a trucking company when you're in orientation? Sit down, take a deep breath, all right? If you're driving the truck, pull over if you have to, okay? Because this is going to blow your mind. When you do a road test at a trucking company, you drive the fucking truck. That's what you do, literally. You drive the truck. They're going to run you around the block. Don't run into anything. You're going to be just fine. But every time you finish a road test, you come back and there's people huddled up going, hey, dude, what'd they have you do? What'd they have you do? Did you have to do a right turn? Oh, God, was it a really tight right turn? Like, when you went to take the right turn, did you have to, like, use the left lane a little bit? Did you need some extra space? Like, what did you do? Did they have you back? What'd they have you back into? How was the backing? Guys, you know what you're doing. If I have to listen to one more person freak the fuck out at a trucking orientation about a road test, I might actually kill myself. Drive the truck. That's what you do on a road test. It's not that fucking crazy, right? Well, at this particular company, they were a training company, and depending on how many months of experience you have, you could either end up going solo right out of orientation, or they evaluate your road test and decide if you need to go with a trainer, depending how much experience you have. You know, if you're like over that 3 months or 6 months or whatever it was, then they were like, okay, that's a solo driver. But hey, maybe you were a pretty decent driver, but you only had a couple months of experience. Well, show them on that road test. Show them you got what it takes, and you might get to be a solo driver straight out of orientation. Kind of an interesting deal. Now, this was a long time ago, so I don't know if that's tightened up, you know, if that particular company has different rules now, because everybody had to be more safe out here. A lot of people getting sued, right? A lot of lawsuits flying around out here. So anyways, he went and did his road test and got assigned to a trainer. Yeah, for real. He had to get a trainer. The guy that wouldn't shut up through all of class about everything, ELDs and pre-trip inspections and all that stuff, he just got a trainer. And you know, a lot of times with these guys, if you do a whole lot less talking and a lot more listening, you wouldn't end up in that spot. Instead of telling everybody how much you know, show us. Prove it. Do it. Right? But, you know, it was one of those big orientations, so everyone was asking everybody, oh, did you get assigned a trainer, or do you get to go solo, or what's going on, right? Bunch of very, very new drivers. And so when he came back, everybody's like, you know, a lot of people were talking shit because he was getting on everyone's nerves. Of course, right? They're like, nah, that motherfucker's going to end up with a trainer, right? So he gets out of the truck, just walking very confidently towards us, and I'm like, oh shit, he must have did all right, right? And he walks up, and they go, hey, do you get to go solo? And he goes, nope, I have to go with a trainer. To which I had to contain my laughter. How can you know everything, but you got to go with the trainer? I just don't get it. We all walked back into the classroom, sat down, and then the lady doing the class had to take a note of it for who's getting a trainer and who's going solo. So she's going around to everyone. Of course I was going solo. I literally was the best trucker in that orientation. Of course I was going solo. They could have gave me 2 trucks and I would have got them both down the goddamn road. Same time, baby. But they didn't. Sometimes these companies know they just have to contain my power and not let me live up to my full potential. But they're going around to everyone asking. And she gets to him. And she knows he's been talking this whole time about everything that's been going on, about how he knows everything there is to know about trucking. And she goes, now don't tell me you got assigned to a trainer. And he goes, I did. And she goes, what? You got assigned to a trainer, but you are so knowledgeable on trucking. And that's when he proceeds to tell us the most epic tale that you've ever heard in the history of trucking. The tale of how he saved the whole city of Denver from catastrophe, from the potential end of the world. And he said, I don't mind. Because one time I had a trainer, and we were coming off that mountain up there, coming out of Eisenhower, and I was in the passenger seat, and we started coming down that mountain, and my trainer looked over at me, and he said, "I've never drove down these mountains before." And I said, "I've drove these mountains thousands of times. So if you have a problem, you let me know and I'll drive this truck down the mountain." And the trainer started to pick up speed as he was driving, my trainer. And the truck started going faster and faster, and I looked over and I saw the look in his eyes as he froze, and he had no idea what to do next. He just sat there, froze solid, staring at the road, not doing anything, and I knew he would never ever get this truck off this mountain. So he started pushing the brakes. He started pushing the brake pedal. About the third time he pushed that brake pedal, there was smoke flying everywhere coming off the brakes. And my trainer looked at me and he had tears in his eyes, and he said, "I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing." So it was at that moment that I grabbed my trainer out of his seat while we're rolling down the mountain, and I moved him over to the passenger seat, and I sat down in that truck seat. No brakes. They were all on fire. Every brake on that truck was on fire. So what I did is I turned off the key to that truck. Engine turned off, causing the truck to lose power. And we just coasted off that mountain. And as we got to the bottom, right before you get into Denver, there was a state patrolman standing right there on the side of the road, parked next to his cruiser. You get the point. He had his cruiser parked on the side of the road, and he was standing there waiting for me to come off that mountain. And he saw, as I grabbed that steering wheel and I muscled it off that mountain, that truck was coming to a stop. And he just gave me a big old thumbs up and let me roll on by him. And we got to the bottom of that mountain. That truck came to a stop, and my trainer said, "How did you know to do that? How did you know to turn off the engine of the truck and it was going to bring it to a stop?" And I told him that once you turn off the engine, it doesn't go any faster anymore. And so there's not a mountain in this country that I can't handle, because I did that one with no engine turned on. Well, as you can imagine, people started asking questions. First question was, "Hey, when you turn the key off, didn't you lose your power steering?" Oh, yes, he did. I did lose my power steering, and that's why it was so hard to steer it coming off that mountain. I did lose my power steering. But that's why, you know, it's important for truckers to stay in good shape, because you never know when you're going to have to shut the truck off and muscle that truck off a mountain. So yeah, I didn't have power steering. And then some other smart-ass trucker goes, "Well, when you turned off the truck, didn't gravity still exist? The truck wouldn't necessarily slow down because you turned it off, would it?" And he goes, "Well, once you release all that pressure on the engine and you turn off the key, then it's sort of stronger than gravity. You know, all that pressure is released, and it'll just come to a stop at the bottom of the mountain every time. Every time." That was his story. Yeah, that's what he told us. And everybody stood up and clapped and cheered. And the president called. It was Obama at the time. I'm pretty sure it was Obama. So Obama called and gave him the Medal of Honor for saving the city of Denver. And the point of this story is none of this happened. Well, I mean, he told us the story. That happened. But the rest didn't happen. Anyways, I hope the guy got a good trainer that actually corrected his thoughts on how trucking actually works. And hopefully he didn't spend all that time telling that trainer everything he knew about trucking. I hope he actually went on to be a good trucker. Because at that time, at that current time in our lives, that guy was so goddamn full of shit. So anyways, that's all I got today. I'm not trying to give you guys a bunch of dead space. I got nothing else to talk about. Let me know if you enjoyed sort of the B-roll stuff going through my day, and I'll add more. Unless you hated it, I'll continue to put that in the videos. Yeah, if you're new here, like the video, please. That helps. We're trying to grow a channel here. And definitely subscribe to the channel. All that stuff really helps me out. This little lowly YouTuber over here. So, appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time now. Bye.